Hello? 1 second. Let me change the output device here. All right. Can you hear me?
Yes.
How you doing, Bernie?
How you doing?
I'm all right.
I cannot show my camera, so I guess I'll just remain as this still image of a camera.
Of a camera with a slash through it.
Yes.
Uh, oh, who else we got here? No one.
Nope.
So what's been going on in your life, Brink? Oh, David, here we go. How's it going,
Hello.
David? You have a camera? No? Guess I'm gonna be the only one showing my face here. Error. YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. All right. So once again, I need to implement the external stream box. But hey, look, it's David's beautiful face. How you doing, David?
Going all right.
What's been going on with music for you?
Just working on my website thing still.
What's your website?
The Corgi. I showed it to you maybe about a month ago now. It's the one that lets people like make music with each other in the browser.
Oh yeah, the multiplayer DAW in the browser.
Yeah.
Hey, David, can you turn up your voice or something?
Sorry?
I think you're very quiet. Yeah.
I'm really quiet. You're really quiet.
For me, at least.
Let me see. I just installed some drivers.
So David, I mean, if you don't mind, I would be really curious to see kind of the inner workings behind how you would go about designing such a thing.
Yeah, definitely. I'd love to. Always love to talk about it.
So if you'd like, you can yeah. So in order to turn up your mic, you just go to your Zoom preferences, your Zoom audio preferences, which you can get to by hitting the arrow next to the mic icon on the bottom left corner. And then you can adjust your mic
That
settings
should be
there.
better.
That's better. Awesome.
Is using the wrong one.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So yeah, just tell us a little bit about, I mean, for maybe people watching, if there's anyone other than us, what your whole situation is, what you're trying to design and build, and how you're making it happen.
Yeah. So
I can choose an image for my face.
yeah. Yeah. So I mean, slowly got into music production over the past few years, and then always like kind of making stuff with other people, and I've seen lots of other collaborative websites out there. So it was like there has to be something like Ableton, but in the browser, just something that lets you do all that stuff with other people in real time because it's last year's 2018, but and yeah, eventually after a year of searching and didn't find anything good enough. Like I looked at like I think BandLab, I think is one of them, but like you have to refresh to see any changes, so that's pretty useless. But yeah, last year just finally decided to take a shot at making my own version of it, and then now it's a year later and it's grown into something pretty crazy. So yeah,
That's awesome. And you mentioned that BandLab might have been one thing that was sort of trying to do what you were doing. Are you also familiar with the Korg DAW on the Nintendo Switch?
I am not.
So Korg made a multiplayer DAW for the Switch.
Awesome.
So if I go ahead and let's see here, Korg DAW Switch. So I think it's a kind of a similar thing to what you're trying to do here, but obviously it's for the Switch. But let me see if I can pull it up. Korg, let's see. It's called Korg Gadget, looks like.
Yeah, I think I have that on my phone actually.
Nice.
So 1 second, I'm gonna shut down my work laptop for a second. Or switch monitors.
So yeah, I'm trying to pull up a YouTube video on my end, but because I'm trying to do OBS, Zoom, Discord, and Ableton at the same time, might not
Yeah.
necessarily happen. But here it comes. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen, share computer sound, and hopefully this should work. Oh, here we go. Right, 4-person multiplayer.
Sorry. It's loud, like, can't hear.
Right, so sorry, what were you saying? I couldn't hear you over the fun chord music.
Yeah, I would say I couldn't hear you either.
Oh, you're not getting the audio here?
No, just the YouTube video was pretty loud.
Gotcha. Yeah, but you saw that it had like the 4-person multiplayer?
For a second there, I'm getting like 1 frame a second.
Gotcha. Perhaps we could pull this up on your end. So, because I would like to see kind of the inner workings behind your website as well. So maybe I'm going to stop sharing on my screen. And then why don't you go ahead and hit share? There's a pop-up window. And on the bottom left, it says share computer sound. Do you see that?
Yeah, I've shared.
Okay, cool.
I use them a bit.
Welcome, Pixel Wax.
Howdy. 1 sec.
Delicious.
Yes, I had some delicious, disgusting food.
Oh yeah, what was for dinner, Brink?
It's
Dog food?
Friday, so it's fries and stuff.
Fries.
Yes.
Oh Jesus.
Oh boy, here we go.
Somebody did something in here. It is just in the lobby, so I don't know. That's cool. I just somebody made something in here. Yeah, let me see. You can put a link in the chat because that's the whole.
You're speaking, I can't hear you.
You can't hear me?
I can't hear Pixel Wax.
Oh,
Pixel Wax, yeah. What? Can you say something for us real quick?
Yo.
Oh, here we go. Awesome.
Okay. I keep having to mess with my settings every time I go in Zoom, but we're all good now. What's up, guys?
Sweet. How you doing?
I'm good, man. I worked a lot this week, so I decided to take today off.
Nice.
So,
Nice.
Yeah, man, I'm doing well. I got to sleep in for the first time in what feels like forever, and I've got the energy to make some beats.
Dope.
Yeah. How is everything with you guys?
It's good. We heard your ass beat on the stream yesterday. Very good work.
My shitty butt beat.
Yeah, your shitty butt beat. That was the star of the show for sure.
Well, thanks for listening.
Yeah, and now we're here with David, the creator of Corgi.fm, and
what's up, man?
I was actually mentioning that what David is trying to do here is create this browser-based multiplayer DAW, and I was mentioning to him that the Nintendo Switch has a similar thing made by Korg. I don't know if you're familiar with this, Pixel Wax, but Korg made a multiplayer DAW for the Nintendo Switch, and I was just kind of showing David that. Are you familiar?
I've heard of it. I haven't been able to like see it or anything like that, but
Right.
it looks pretty cool.
Yeah. So I was just mentioning that to David just to, see if there was any inspiration that he could take from there. But unfortunately, I was trying to play the video and, dude, like my CPU is just going crazy right now, so that didn't quite work. But yeah, David, if you can show us sort of what is I don't even know anything about what it takes to design or run a website, and I don't really know much about DSP either. So what would be like the behind the scenes for this, of just how you've designed these components and um, how everything works? Can you show us a little bit behind that?
Uh, Maybe actually, yeah. So I'm not I'm not doing any DSP in this. Luckily, the browser actually comes with most of all the like core components that you would need to build something. Like it has oscillators and filters and a convolution reverb built into the browser now. Which is
Really?
pretty cool. Yeah, I only learned this when I started the project, but like I would have gotten this far if they didn't have all that stuff built in.
So Chrome, Safari, all those browsers have all these components built in.
Yeah, for the most part, some of them some of them don't have all the same features, but most of the core stuff is all there. But like Firefox is missing like the Web MIDI API, so you need like a browser extension to play with an external keyboard. So I'm only allowing Chrome at the moment, so it's easier to develop against. They have a little DevTools window that'll show like what's going on behind the scenes with all the nodes. Trying to remember how to get to that. Yeah, I didn't even know that existed before I started this project. I first just like wanted to make a keyboard and with the synth, and yeah, I was pleasantly surprised.
This is cool. It looks kind of like Reactor, like, or if wow.
Trying to get to load.
Maybe it's because nothing has happened yet, or rip.
Try local. It's not running.
Oh.
Yeah, sorry. Getting distracted trying to get that work. Yeah, so they got oscillators that have some basic wave types like saw, triangle, sine, square, and then they don't have a noise oscillator, so I'm just looping a noise sample. So they have like stuff for playing back samples as well. And then with those oscillators, you could use those to create LFOs and stuff. So it has this middle row here on the synth is a kind of basic LFO that's modulating. Well, you can change the targets between gain, pan, and filter at the moment. They have built-in delay node. Yeah, so most of the work for all the stuff that actually produces sound, it's mostly just building a UI on top of it and putting knobs and assigning those to parameters. And then, but the sequencer part, they don't provide really anything for that. So that's where a lot of the work's been, is figuring out how to build a way for people to put in notes so they'll be able to play it back. What's the word?
So why don't you show us how the sequencer works here?
Sure. So I'm gonna make another new room. So I think I got two sequencers at the moment. The most basic one is the grid sequencer. So it's just, got kind of like a piano roll, like a MIDI editor in Ableton. As you place the notes, it'll kind of preview them similar to Ableton. If you click, stop that. Yeah, I think it's kind of self-explanatory. There's nothing too special about the sequencer.
Gotcha.
Super basic. It's only clicking to turn things off and on. You can't drag things around. You can't resize things yet. Sometime in the next month, I'll be working on a more full-featured MIDI editor that'll just have as many features as possible, basically, to not limit people.
Right.
This infinite sequencer was trying to take a shot at like making something that you don't see in every DAW, like trying to make something all new. So start over. So it plays back like a normal kind of sequencer, I guess, but the way you put notes into it is you can't exactly click and place them in there, at least not yet. But the main way is you plug in a keyboard, hit record, and then it just kind of puts them in order, I guess, like kind of making art. It's actually it's inspired by the
OP1.
Yes, yeah, the endless sequencer.
Yeah, I've always wanted to try the OP1 just because of that sequencer. Like, I'm not very good at playing live. That's really cool and intuitive.
So yeah, I'm so okay. So it's just recording these incoming notes here, and it's sort of quantizing them for you, and then it just kind of loops that back, I guess.
Yep. So you can see the length of the top right. So it's just painting the length of that kind of clip as you add notes. So that was the main base of it, and then added some quality of life features. Like if you mistyped a note, you can come in and shift, click, and drag to change just one of the notes.
Oh, nice.
And you can also click and drag across to kind of preview them really quickly. And I think you can delete as well. Shift right click to delete. It's got undo. And I have more ideas for this, like more ways to add notes to it, like have a column over here to where you just click on what you want the next note to be, to have a quick way to click in and add notes, I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
Damn, that's awesome.
It's really cool.
So what else has been like the biggest challenge with making something like this, other than designing the sequencers?
Building, so it provides oscillators and stuff, right? But they only, that's it. It just gives you raw individual oscillators. So making a monosynth was really easy, but building a polysynth, I had to learn how a polysynth like works. How does it decide which notes that you press down go to which voices in the instrument and things like that. So that was interesting, but also challenging to decide, like, if we only got 10 voices, like how do you decide which one goes to which? But then also dealing with playing back a song in real time and having it be like perfectly in time. With envelopes and stuff, that was pretty tough, I guess, trying to get all that to work together. But I think I've got a system that's working all right so far. The code behind it's pretty unreadable.
So, like, for example, the problem would be like, okay, say, I don't know, is this polysynth that, does it have like a fixed number of voices? So let's say it's like 16.
So these at the moment actually have infinite voices because of the way I'm having to schedule the notes. But so yeah, that was also another big part, I think, that made this really complicated, was because it's in the browser, performance isn't great. It's pretty bad. So to try and combat that, when you start playing a song, it's actually reading ahead of time to like, it's reading the notes ahead of time and scheduling them on the instruments themselves. So like, all right, this note at like a C in the fourth octave is going to start playing after half a second, and then the polysynth needs to figure out, like, is there already a note playing that's currently releasing by the time that other note needs to start? Is there another note that's coming after it that we need to cut off the release of this new note that goes in before we schedule it, and some stuff like that.
Damn.
So that I even built a little visualizer to help me like figure out how that stuff works.
Can we see that?
It's like you can increase attack and release. So when you first press it down, it just doesn't really have a release, but as soon as you let go, and it schedules that. But now if I play another note on the same note, I need to cancel that one and schedule a new one. Doesn't work as well as it used to. Used to have the old notes stay in there, but haven't had to use this for a while since I stopped really working on it. So like if you're actually playing a song, because I wanted to, one of the requirements I wanted was to be able to have two different sequencers going into the same instrument, and then also a keyboard, and just have it work, because it works in Ableton. Not that people do that very often. You have to do some weird stuff, I think, to route MIDI around. I don't think people do that very often. I don't think I'd ever done it until I just wanted to see what it could do.
Right, and then you have to decide sort of which sequencer gets to play at which time, right?
Yeah. So I did this test and like wrote out a little visual of like if I played have a MIDI with these notes in these orders, and I put into Ableton, what does Ableton play? And I was like, let's try to mimic that, because Ableton seems like a good reference for a lot of stuff. But I wasn't able to. It seemed pretty arbitrary, like nothing you could really. It wasn't random. It was every time you did it, it would go the same way. But in the end, I was like, I couldn't think of a solid use case or a reasonable use case of where somebody would have two sequencers going to the same instrument that are playing conflicting notes. Right. I'm like, why would you? It sounds like a mistake to somebody's doing. But I made sure that it wouldn't die, and like some note would still play. And if you plugged in your keyboard, it would work properly as well, like canceling any notes that are currently playing and that kind of stuff.
So I'm curious, so you sort of mentioned how you sort of combat latency by scheduling notes ahead of time. I'm kind of curious as to what sort of latency we're getting here, because there's probably latency kind of due to the MIDI driver, for example, that is running inside of Chrome. So there's a latency kind of on the input side of things, and then it has to travel to the server, and which matters greatly depending on your internet connection. And then it's the output. The server returns the signal through your audio driver, right? In which case, for example, in Ableton, you're able to first off select what kind of driver you have and also the buffer size. So I'm wondering how all that works. How do you combat all those different sources of latency?
So I'm not actually trying to combat network latency at the moment,
right?
Because I can get to that in a sec. There's I think it's Reaper or some other DAW out there has a cool approach to that problem. But at the moment, I'm just not dealing with network latency. It just is what it is, but I have some ideas for it. Anyways, for latency, just with like going through your drivers and getting in the browser and scheduling the note and then hearing the sound, it's definitely not as, I haven't gotten it as fast as it would be like using Ableton with like an ASIO driver and stuff. That's just like so instant you can't even tell. But with this, it's when you compare the two, you can tell there's slight delay.
Right.
But that's just on the to-do list to do another pass to see like what's slowing that down and how I can get that faster.
Yeah, it's a really interesting problem because I don't know if do you know what do you play video games much?
Yeah.
Do you know what NVIDIA GeForce Now is?
I haven't heard of that.
So it's basically it allows you to play video games where you have like another computer, maybe like on the other side of the country, doing all the video processing and actually running the game. So really what you're getting is just a stream of what the computer is doing, and you're sending it, your key commands and mouse movements and all that fun stuff. But they've managed to make it so that there's basically no latency. You can't even tell that it's running on another system most of the time. And it's crazy.
I did hear about Google Stadia. I mean, you can't not hear about it. YouTube is spamming ads for that.
Right.
Like crazy right now. I look forward to trying that out as well. Like they have, I think their new innovation. Sorry, I keep making sure my dog's not laying down behind me. but yeah, I think their controller like connects to your Wi-Fi network, so it doesn't go through your computer, just to cut out another like millisecond of latency or something.
Damn.
Like. But yeah, so this Corgi actually is pretty much doing everything on your local browser. It's only sending commands and actions that the user does. So when you play a note, it only sends like this person played MIDI note 60, and
Right.
that's all it tells you. So that way, at least to you, like you might just think, oh, this other person just doesn't know how to play in time with the song or something, but like something like that.
So it's not really sending the audio back and forth. It's just sending the MIDI information, and then all the audio is being done on the local browser.
Yep, it's kind of like the simulation. It's not perfectly deterministic at all, but it's close enough to where most people can't tell if anything goes wrong. But yeah, the way for like if I wanted people to be able to like plug in their guitar and play that in time with the song, and then also sound in time with other people, the thing that I saw for that was it's called Ninjam, I think. I think it was a Reaper plugin they made. Let me look it up. Make sure I'm hearing it right. That's probably not good. Yeah, Ninjam for Reaper. So basically, what it does is it you're playing something live and it's playing in time with the song, but it's not quite sending. Well, it's sending what you're recording to all the other clients, all the other people, but it won't start playing for them until whatever section of the song you designated starts over again. So basically playing what you played like 4 bars late, but it's exactly 4 bars late. So by the time it starts playing, it is in time.
Gotcha. That's an interesting solution. So it's just like, fuck it, we're not even going to bother with real time, but
yeah,
it's gonna be, but it's gonna be like so quick. It's gonna be in the same time as you would expect anyway, so you don't even really notice it.
Yeah. So I hope to sometime, might not even be this year, to get to that feature, but would like to try that out in this. But Corgi's definitely mostly focused on programming a song rather than playing stuff live. Although we have had handful of fun jam sessions where we're playing kind of not too melodic stuff, but like a lot of ambient, a lot of pads works really well.
Right, because you don't necessarily need to be that in time for those, right?
Yeah.
Nice. So, yeah, anybody else watching have any questions for David here?
How long have you been working on this particular project?
Just about a year now.
Wow. You should be really proud. This is, I'm pretty much the equivalent of computer illiterate, but this looks really cool and it looks very intuitive. And I like how you're thinking outside the box, and for it to be user friendly, especially that sequencer that's comparable to the OP1. I think it's really cool.
I think it's honestly really impressive how you like managed to get the other people's like mouse on the screen as well.
Yeah.
I think you could see me messing around.
Yes.
I was wondering if that was just like, I was like, is that Brinch?
Yeah, I put a link into, or did y'all?
Yeah, in the Discord.
Okay.
Or I put it in the Zoom chat.
Gotcha.
Oh man.
So what other sorts of effects / plugins / instruments are you adding or thinking of adding, or are you eventually maybe even going to, I know this is kind of way crazy, but are you eventually maybe even going to let people create their own modules? So sort of maybe even create an API for people who want to sort of create their own nodes or modules for this thing.
Yeah, definitely want to make it'll basically be a very light version of Max for Live in the browser. I'm thinking I barely use excuse me. I've never really used Max for Live, but I feel like I have an idea on, like, that's what people use it for, right? Is to like make their own
Yeah.
plugins and stuff. So, but yeah, so like if you look at the synth, it's got a polysynth of oscillators and stuff, and it's got it's our envelope applied to the gain, and it's got a panel. Like all of these can be broken out into little individual nodes that you can drag around and connect however you want, and then if you just wire those up into a thing and then like drag a box around it and then right click and like create new instrument or something, and then yeah, and then maybe make a way to like create their own knobs and wire up the parameters and stuff like that.
Right.
But definitely want to let people do that. Let people do the work for me, basically.
Exactly.
As soon as I can get to that.
Because I could totally see a sort of a community of people who would be super down to sort of create these. I mean, it's sort of like, I don't know if you guys heard of like Super Mario Maker 2.
Oh, yeah.
But I sort of imagine that this would be like the DAW equivalent of Super Mario Maker 2. Because, you know,
it's accurate.
because the thing is, what's really cool about this is that it is all online, and it is sort of meant with multiple people, a multiplayer sort of approach in mind. Whereas Max for Live, yeah, it has the sort of online component in the sense that anyone can make their own patches and sort of distribute them. But at the end of the day, you're just going to be flying solo with, you know, everybody in their own little DAW. But what's cool about this and sort of, you know, why I bring up Super Mario Maker 2 is that everybody's kind of making these things for each other to use together. And that to me is kind of the most exciting thing about it.
Yeah, that was what. What's up, Brink?
No, nothing.
Yeah, I had an idea maybe a few months after I started this to like make some kind of Mario Maker spin on this, where people make levels, which are I guess songs or something, and I don't know what they'd have to do in it. Like, don't want to go. I mean, you could go Guitar Hero style as well,
right?
Like that, or some, yeah, some idea that builds gamify it a little bit, and then people could just randomly get levels and then try to finish it. Or
could be almost like, you know, you have a couple modules, connect the nodes in this order or way and get, you know, this target sound or whatever. Or for example, like you like, I don't know, open with like a target sound, and then you're like, okay, you need to, you know, mess with these parameters or connect these modules in a way that sort of gets you to it, I don't know, the fastest or something. I don't know. That's sort of an idea for how to gamify it. It's also tricky because with something like Super Mario Maker, you know, the goal is to get to the end of the level the fastest. It's not really a form of like self-expression in the same way that music is. So it's tough. It's an interesting problem. I don't know what you guys think about that.
Yes.
Yes. Very insightful, Brink.
Sorry, I actually just logged in here, and I'm going to be messing around. I want to be part of this discussion, but I also wanted to just see what this is about.
Yeah. Feel free.
yeah, the sound design one, that's a cool idea. And like show somebody or let somebody just hear the sound but not show them any parameters, and then they have to figure out. It's kind of like what we've been doing with the Sound Design Sunday, basically just recreating synth sounds, but
right.
gamify it and automate it to where somehow have the program be able to tell how close they actually are. And yeah, that could be cool, because that's something sound design is one of the more fun things for me with music production. I like doing that. And then,
have you checked out Ableton's website called Learning Synths?
oh yeah, it's really cool. And one of the devs who makes it's on the Web Audio Slack that I'm on, which is pretty cool.
Oh, nice.
I didn't have any questions for him, but if I did, like, it's nice to know that there's a lot of cool people there who really know. The people who actually built like the Web Audio API are in the Slack, just hanging out.
Damn.
That's another nice aspect to it, that it's a small community, but there's a little community of support around this tech.
Right, because I mean, I only briefly got to check out the Learning Synths website, but they managed to make some pretty robust synths inside it. and have like a very good visual component to it as well, and also make it mobile friendly. That's the other thing. It seems like this is um, looks like it would be very usable on the desktop. Maybe it would be just as usable on mobile. I guess I haven't really tried it. I'm wondering if there are any extra challenges with that you've come across.
So the only mobile browser to be able to work on would be Chrome on Android specifically.
Right.
I think Smooth or Bean actually managed to test it out, and like it kind of worked. I think a lot of the touch interactions weren't working because I haven't programmed anything to handle those, but some of it just works out of the box.
Nice.
Yeah, the more people that actually like request that, I guess some point that could be something I could look into.
Like, did it work to like touch and drag around? Because it already kind of feels like a touchscreen with the mouse, like clicking and dragging.
I didn't get to see how well it worked. It didn't sound like a lot of stuff worked since like dragging the mouse around. Dragging the mouse on the background is just like it's just listening for mouse up and down. But it wouldn't be too hard if I just do a pass and go over all the mouse interactions and Google like how to make this work with touch, and then add a few things to work with that.
So what would be the challenge? Does Android handle audio differently than iOS? I'm guessing that's the issue.
Well, so part of it is because I've locked it down to only work on Chrome,
right?
And Chrome on iOS isn't real Chrome; it's just Safari branded for Chrome.
Really?
Yeah,
that's hilarious.
I don't know if whose fault that is. If it's Apple, it won't let Google on, or if Google doesn't want to spend the time to make it. But Chrome on Android is real Chrome. It's the same code base, and they just build it specifically for Android.
Gotcha.
Which I didn't know it was until recently. But yeah, apparently it is. Yeah, all the different browsers, like there's the WebMIDI API is one of the things that Firefox doesn't have, and then there's this really particular function that is really useful for programming envelopes that Firefox doesn't have, and I don't know if Safari has it either.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't even looked at Safari supporting any of this stuff. I probably wouldn't count on them having a lot, but
yeah,
but maybe that's not fair. Maybe they have a great team behind it. I don't know.
You having fun, Pixelwax?
This is amazing. I think you're really onto something here, man.
Yeah. I can show you something cool with your keyboard. So if you place some notes on your keyboard.
Well, that's through the push. The push is it's in sync, but
are we looking
like
at the
if
same
I
thing?
put it, all right, here we go.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. Turn up my sound. So, like, a quick way to make a super saw with this would be to take the synth, duplicate it,
damn,
and slightly detune.
that's crazy.
I think somebody else showed me that in my own program.
That's
I was
awesome,
like, I
man.
didn't even know you could. That's really fun when somebody shows it. That's like one of the reasons I like to make stuff like this. Like people just, yeah.
Oh, absolutely, man.
Never think of.
Oh shit! I didn't even know you can do that.
Yeah, it's crazy, right?
So, are you able? I'm assuming there's a sampler in here.
Yes, that's this is kind of heavy in development. Custom sampler. I have a very cool. Actually, since we're here, I might as well push it. It might destroy everything though, so that might not be a good idea. Maybe
Let's destroy everything. Let's try it.
Yeah, anarchy. So am I able to just drag and drop samples into that thing?
I don't know if that's going. Well, that's the big feature basically that I have. It's working on my local. I just got it working last night, to where anybody can drag a sample file onto any of these pads, and then I'll upload and download to everybody else in the room, and within like a second or two, everybody can be able to play that sample and hear it.
Dude, this is awesome.
That's crazy. Can we see if that
Can I try?
Yeah, can we try that?
I need to check I've got a whole bunch of changes that because I've just been throwing things together until it worked this week. Let me make sure everything's working on my local first real quick, and then I can push it up. But I could definitely demo it on my local probably.
It's really weird.
Turn one of these down. So right now you can click these, and I have like a default sample pack that's on the server. These are all the piano notes that are already loaded into it, but then have a small drum thing to pick from.
Mm-hmm.
It's like as you change it, everybody will see that, and if you don't have the sample, it downloads it and all that good stuff. But of course, like the coolest feature would be if people could upload their own stuff. So I got a little 808 sample and
9th Wonder Kidding Corgi.
drop it, and now it's uploaded everywhere.
Nice.
Cool. So it looks like that works. So pushes. Oh no! Don't do that. I don't know what that is.
Dude, I think I killed the MIDI keyboard.
The Kitty Me board.
The Kitty Me board.
Kidding me, board. Jeez.
Yep, I broke it. I killed it.
Can you beaks backwards?
Oh no, it's not going to work. I have to. It's missing. I could spend a couple more minutes to. I just need to add something to the server so I can talk to the.
Oh shit! I'm too loud. I can hear that.
So I think this will be really useful for the Discord. Well, like if you set a time, for the day and just get people playing around in here.
Yeah.
And actually jamming real time. It's very, because I think that's what a lot of electronic musicians, I mean, me personally, I used to play guitar and I used to play in a band. And one of the things I truly miss is like that camaraderie in real time. And this is very, very cool.
Right. So is there a limit on the number of people that can be in a room at the same time?
Not yet, but I should probably put something like that.
Gotcha. Because I'm just wondering, like, what it'd be like with, like, I don't know, 20, 30 people.
I think the most we've had is maybe 6 to 8 people. And
gotcha.
At first it's chaotic when everybody's just like, oh, this is cool, let's press all the keys and stuff. And then usually somebody goes off to a new room and is like, all right, I want peace and quiet. I want to actually build something. And then people slowly trickle over and it'll be more visible. And so I'm going to have a lot of features around like permissions and stuff. So you can control, like if you want a room to be public, if you want people to just be able to watch, or even like give them control to specific things, but not the whole song so they don't trash it.
Nice, Pixel. Hell yeah, bro.
It's another ass beat.
Right. Yeah, if we could get the tropical rhythm sample pack in there, that would be a dream come true.
I mean, if you're really trying to make this thing explode with greatness,
right.
You just need a couple of great butt sounds.
There you go. So
that's definitely what the sampler was made for, I think.
Yeah. Hey, Beans.
Sorry, I'm late.
It's all
None
good.
of the notifications came through.
What's up, Bean?
Glad to see Corgi X and Cloud. I don't think I've ever seen Pixel's face before.
He has a
flesh, man.
It's a wonderful face.
Not just like a picture of some like lo-fi goodness or anything. He's an actual person. I thought he was like this clownfish aesthetic.
Plot twist.
I wasn't expecting the clownfish, but okay.
Have you seen his like profile picture?
My camera isn't working for some reason. I'm just a dog.
It's kind of weird because when you talk to people so much through that, then you start associating their profile picture with them, but they're actually an actual human.
I'm not
anyway, back on topic.
The real world's a crazy place, man.
It is.
Yeah.
It is kind of
I
weird.
always thought of David as a fucking panda or something.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Yeah,
Bean is an actual bean.
But don't tell anybody you saw my face, because I'm trying to keep the clownfish mystery in the Discord. Okay?
Yeah.
You know, for some DJs and producers, it was the mouse head. For Pixel, it's going to be the clownfish.
I'm telling you, man. There's a new guy out who, I was flipping mindlessly through social media for 30 minutes the other day, and I saw an Instagram account. I forget the name of the DJ, but it's another one of those dead mouse guys. But the content that was created to give him a little bit momentum was actually pretty cool. If I find him, I'll let you guys know. But that's like the whole helmet thing. I get it. Why some artists do that, but some of them are really silly. Have you heard of Black Tiger Sex Machine Underbelly?
I've heard of them, yeah.
So I consider them a meme, and I saw them live. They played at this tiny, 50-person venue called The Social here in Orlando. It's an amazing place to see music. But there's 3 of them on stage, and they look like they're doing a lot, and they look like they're pressing a lot of buttons. But there's a guy, I don't know, doing audio and visual. There's a guy that controls the visuals on the helmets. But when a drop hits, they do all of these animated choreography things, look them up. Black Tiger Sex Machine. They're playing really decent times at festivals. It's the funniest thing you'll ever watch.
Damn.
I don't know. I had a really good time
just based on the name.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you can have that name and make your music business lucrative, you're doing something right.
Definitely, man.
I mean, artist image is just wild when you think about the sort of random things that people do.
Yeah.
It's weird when when Windows is not focused on the browser, then it says I have more than 60 FPS.
Yeah, I think the math, or there's something, sometimes the FPS can be inaccurate, but hopefully it's obvious if it's going above your refresh rate.
When I drag around, it still says 60, but it feels like 30.
When you drag around, it lags so bad that your audio stops working through Zoom?
No, it doesn't stop working. It's just...
Or is that my audio?
I love how everyone here is just neatly lined up.
Somebody say something. Can y'all hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yep. This is going to be really cool. I'm going to start, because I'm in a few Discords, but I know a few that would really love to try this out. And I can get some feedback for you.
Yeah, I'll be happy to announce this if I haven't already. Just add everyone. If you want, you can prepare a meeting or sort of a room in the app for that when I do announce it. But yeah, I could just put it on the announcements right now and see what people think. You get some feedback pretty quickly.
I think Aiden's. I didn't.
There he is.
Be busy.
Sorry?
Sorting out. What?
Sorry, my audio cut out for a minute there.
So what I was gonna say was whenever you feel like it, Aiden, I'm happy to make an announcement to everyone in the Discord, kind of to tell people to check this out. I'm happy to do that now. Or if you feel like you want to, work on this some more, or have a room ready to go, or if you want me to link to a particular room, I'm happy to do that as well, because I think I don't know. I just want to share this thing because it's pretty fucking dope.
Thank you. That's awesome.
Probably once all the infrastructure, like the accounts and stuff, starts coming in.
Yeah.
I don't know what progress is on that.
Yeah. So I might might still want to wait a little bit before we're doing an announcement like that. But that would be awesome soon. So basically, it's I'm calling it like a secret alpha. So like whoever happens to find out about it, like surprise, you found a thing. But I'm not like advertising it or posting it anywhere because I'm not. Well, one, it's still not to a point where. I mean, yeah, I guess. I don't know. I probably could have released this a long time ago, but there's always, I got this huge list of things that are like, these are the things I know people are going to complain about as soon as they get it. Like,
Right.
why can't I select and drag notes around it? Like, oh, you don't have a sampler yet? What is this? And all that. So I'm trying to just like address all the main things I know people will bring up with to try and head that off.
Like get it to its best it can be before people start using it. And then once they do, you're like, yep, that's the best it can be. And then like people start going, oh, what about this? You're like, oh, I hadn't thought of that.
Yeah.
Now you can improve it.
Yeah. So
whereas right now you're like, well, I know there are all these things that I want to do.
Yeah. For the past year, I've mainly just been telling myself to like not worry about release dates or anything and just focus on basically having fun and building what I want to build the way I want to build it at my own pace without any pressure of deadlines.
Totally.
But it's been a year now, so like I'm definitely, there's light at the end of the tunnel. I have like the sampler. Once I get all the uploading stuff and all that sorted out and more polished up, and then a new sequencer that has like all the features, a lot of features that DAW would have for editing MIDI, and then polish and maybe some legal stuff, like need a terms of service probably.
Right.
And figure out stuff about like people uploading samples, like what rights are they giving to that sample, and how do we make sure it's even theirs or not?
Yeah, because people could just upload whole songs into the custom sampler.
I technically need to do some stuff with like DMCA to. I at least need an email for people to send email like, hey, that's my sample. Take it down.
Right. Exactly.
It assumed closed for me.
Sorry.
The fuck just happened?
Oh, is it the same thing that happened to me?
So my MIDI isn't. My keyboard was plugged in and working with it earlier. I don't know if I.
Do you have a DAW open?
Yes.
Yeah, because
I figured that. Just because Zoom was minimized. It's weird.
But yeah, before reaching, I guess next milestone will be public alpha, where I'll actually post it on I'll try to have not a big thing on one day, but just slowly build up to like posting on Reddit or something and see how much attention it's. But yeah, hopefully, definitely by the end of the year. Don't want to wait long.
Totally.
Yeah, I reckon. Yeah, once you get it in a certain state, then you can start going right. Now I can plug it everywhere and market it because it's like nice and robust, totally be able to handle all these new users coming in.
Yeah, it's the other thing. It's running on a $5 a month server right now, so
nice.
I'm not sure how. Need to beat that up. Yeah, so I uploaded the latest stuff that should allow you to upload samples. Somebody want to test it out and see if it catches fire.
Very nice.
Yeah, I'll just throw in like I've got some right here on my home screen. No fart noises though, guys. Sorry, it's not that epic.
Darn it.
Rip.
Fart noise is classified as Foley, right? So you can make future bass with it.
Future ass is the correct nomenclature.
That's true. Future ass.
So I'm trying to drag and drop it just like a regular snare into C4, and it is not doing it.
Is it saying anything when you...
It says drop to upload, and I drop it, and nothing.
I'll try mine then. Oh, looks like did it work for... Do y'all see that?
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah.
It's an 808, right?
Yeah. Do you hear it too?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So the wire is gray. Is that supposed to be the case?
Which wire? Oh, you uploaded it to this one. I uploaded to That just means there's nothing plugged into it. But can you try?
I can try uploading a sample to it.
Yeah, so it needs to be either an MP3 or a WAV and under 10 megabytes.
All right,
that'll expand greatly later. I just haven't spent the time to see what's actually supported. But it looks like that worked, but I'm trying not to celebrate too early. It's like you hear that on your end, not through Zoom, Pixel.
I mean, it sounds real time. I don't think that's through Zoom.
Awesome. Yeah, it works. The reason I...
Go ahead.
Yeah, the reason I didn't push this last night is because there's no limits on the server at the moment, so somebody could cost me a lot of money if they were a malicious user.
You're putting a lot of trust in us.
Don't upload more than 250 gigs.
Well, we haven't seen Bean or Brink's face, so
I don't have one actually.
If you've been on past Patreon streams, you have seen my face.
Yeah, he's definitely used the camera before.
Yeah.
So I closed out my DAW and I'm playing on my MIDI keyboard, and it's still not playing. Is there preferences or anything?
No, it wires it automatically. So all you can really do is refresh. And then if there's any errors logged, then they get logged to a server where I can check later to try and troubleshoot any issues.
Yeah, it's not really working for me either.
Wish I could. Any chance one of y'all want to share on Zoom while you do
it? Sure.
If y'all don't
mind. Share screen while other participant is sharing.
Yeah, I think you have to here.
Yeah. Stop.
There you go.
Okay. Entire screen, yes. Here I am. Alright, so I got this. Nothing's happening.
What's the file type?
It's WAV.
Can you hit F12 in the browser? And then go to the network tab. Then try uploading again. Sorry, thanks for helping to debug this real quick. So okay, it logged in there. So I should be able to see that on my end. One sec.
What a time to be alive.
Nice.
Yeah. Crazy, right?
I'm helping.
Oh, man.
Can you click the console tab near the bottom of the... Or that one?
No, bottom?
Or actually the top one, I guess is better.
Error.
Oh, you're not logged in. Oh, I forgot about that.
Oh, fuck.
Create an account.
You fool.
You fool.
You helped one of the classic blunders.
Idiot.
Alright. Yeah, I'm just going to stop sharing.
We do have accounts now. Nice. I haven't been able to use it.
If I make an account, I'm just going to hope I don't get my information stolen by you.
If it's either one's kind of safe. I'm not storing the credentials. Google is though. It's all going to Google.
Goddamn Google.
Oh shit, you can sign in with Google.
Yeah. But even if you use username and password, that just goes to Google anyways.
Alrighty.
But,
so I'm logged in as Pixel Ass.
Excellent.
Hey, I did it.
It worked.
Oh, did it? Awesome.
Awesome.
I did it.
Nice.
A little Bork snare.
I have a key somewhere.
So, unfortunately, guys, I gotta go. I got another lesson in 2 minutes. But David / Aiden, thank you so much for showing us this thing and giving us a little behind the scenes. And I think we're all pretty damn excited about how this thing is going to flourish. And just let me know when you are comfortable, and I'd be happy to make an announcement. So, yeah, man, just keep up the great work.